Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday evening Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards. I'm an independent Stampin' demonstrator, and I come to you guys live every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 new project. So last Tuesday, or a couple days ago, I totally apologize. I was literally getting ready to go live, and just my entire day exploded in a good way. I got a few more hours at work, and I was working on a work project in the morning, and it took me longer than I anticipated. And then I went to work, so it was just a crazy hot day. Everything was fine. I was totally fine. It just, you know how when you're running around in circles trying to catch your tail? That's kind of like my feeling I've been the last few days, but hopefully things are calming down. I did get the RV garage completely cleaned out. Cassie and Antonio came over on Sunday and put all the tables away. So today I finished getting all of my little doodads out of there so Bo can now have his garage back. My table in my craft room isn't quite put together, but it's not a hot mess. It's definitely been a hot mess before, but it's okay. It still has a little bit of work to do. So hopefully tomorrow and Saturday I'll be able to finish that. So good evening. Right when I went live, right when I hit the button to go live, I realized my camera wasn't plugged into my computer. So that's what I was trying to do really quick. So totally apologize for being a little fuzzy right there. Good evening, Aunt Tammy and Heather. Welcome. So it has been over a week since I've been live, and I've totally missed all of you guys. I know we had the back-to-back weekend retreat, so I got to see most of you guys, but I enjoy coming on my Tuesdays and Thursdays to do the lives because I don't know, I love it. I love showing you guys new product and new ideas. And today is using some new product and a new idea as well. I've seen it on kind of all the craft sites and stuff, and I thought, that's actually kind of cute. Let's see if I can come up with it. So hopefully you guys like what I have for you. Good evening, Monique. So before we get to do the crafting, I do want to show you guys all of the pillow gifts that I gave for the last two weekend retreats. They were the same, but the cards that we made were different. So I will go over each of the retreat cards and all of the pillow gifts. I'm super excited to show you. Okay, let's point you over because we have lots to do today. So when you arrived at your table, you had this gorgeous bag. Sorry, I'm just making sure I am live. And, oh, yep, there we go. So this is the gorgeous bag you guys got. Everybody got the same one, and it's kind of like a pink, like pearlized pink maybe. It was so fun and so cute. With that, everybody had a gorgeous little name tag, and it had your name on the top of it, and it says, "You are amazing." And I stamped some of the flowers at the bottom, and I used some of our double-sided designer series paper. So that sat at your table so you know which table was yours. So those were the first two that you got. I'm not entirely sure the sequence of these that I gave. So I'm just going to show you guys what they are. So everybody got one of these. So this is a little stand, a little home decor item. So this side is using the Rain or Shine set. And then if you flipped it over, you had the Gnome Sweet Gnome, so you could have it double-sided. So that was another gift. This is actually what Bo was doing. I found the frames, but I wanted a little stand for it. So Bo actually built me the little stand. So that's what I was doing if you saw pictures earlier in the months. Okay, so another pillow gift was this cute rhinoceros box. My idea behind this box was to be able to have a gift ready to go if you needed it. So you didn't have to think about it. So all you had to do was slip maybe a gift card inside, or you can untie the bow and put your card inside. And inside were the animal crackers. So you could definitely take your animal crackers out and still use the box, or include the little animal crackers in with your gifts. So that was another one. Let me bring in this guy. He's kind of sticking together. So everybody got this as well. So this is a Post-it note holder. I'll flip it back to the side, and everybody had a little umbrella pen that sat in the top of it. So just a cute little piece for your desk. So everybody got that. And last but not least, I actually think this might have been everybody's favorite. So I am not a vinyl person. I love it. I love that people love doing it. I struggle with it, but I was able to create these. So it says crafting fuel, and I put little hearts all over the side of it. So everybody got their own crafting fuel mug as well. So those were the pillow gifts. Hopefully I remembered all of them. The first weekend's retreat, I used the same stamp sets, but just different designs. So these were the first weekend's retreat. We had the Rain or Shine set, and we did a lot of coloring and a lot of stamping on this. I just love that background. Like literally, I've been using it on everything. So there's those three. And then the next three I actually didn't get this set. My upline Heather lent me hers, and I actually have fallen in love with it. It was actually so fun and beautiful to put together. So those were your next three. And these are all from the first weekend, besides these ones. These ones we actually did for both weekends because I thought they were so cute and fun. So you have matching envelopes, and there is no rhyme or reason for the spelling of these letters. Like it doesn't spell anything, but when you open it, it says thinking of you. So you have the T for thinking of you. You have the H for happy birthday, and the J is for just a note. So I thought those were super fun. So we actually did create these for both weekends. And I did die cut all of these out prior to everybody coming. You should have seen all these little dots that were literally everywhere. But it was still fun. Okay, so let's do the second weekend's cards. So I used the same exact sets, but I just did them all a little bit different. So this is the Rain or Shine. And I was so sad as soon as, like a couple days prior to the retreat, Stampin' Up! Sold out of the designer series paper. And literally everybody wanted it as soon as they saw the cards. And I was super sad, but we still made them anyways. And let me grab the next three. Actually, these are the last three because you guys already saw the black and white ones. So these are the last ones. Look how gorgeous that is. This is vellum, and anything glue that you put underneath vellum doesn't show through. So I used the adhesive sheets, and it actually turned out really good. It kind of looks like they're foggy. The clouds are a little foggy. And this one, I used that same background stamp. And this moment is the start of something great. So those were all the make and takes everybody got and all of the pillow gifts. It was so much fun. The next one is in July, and it's actually in a resort in Scottsdale. So that's will be our next retreats. And as I literally had everything prepped and prepared, I forgot the dies sitting on my table. So I'm going to walk in here really quick and grab them right where I left them. So this is a new set from the new annual catalog. It's called Cheerful Daisies, and it has the dies that match all of the stamp sets. So we are actually using this one for the bingo as well. So I've already designed a bingo. I started prepping on it today a little bit, but all of these, so this will cut out the outside, and then you can do another color for the inside to top it, or you can stamp it. So we're going to be stamping and using this guy. So I'm just going to leave him out, but this is kind of cool. This one is to do a 3-step daisy. So you're going to have this as your background. This one is going to go up underneath it. And I actually did a card with this, and it really works, and it's gorgeous. And this one is going to go on top. I know just showing you the dies really doesn't do a whole lot, but you can do it for all 3 of these flowers. It was so stinking cute. So this is one of the new sets that is going to be available as of May 4th, just a couple more days, a week from today, actually. So let me bring in the card we're going to be making. So here it is. It says, your friendship means everything. You could definitely put a different sentiment in the bottom if you wanted to, but I really liked how that fit perfectly. And I think it could be used for all occasions. And I did tie a little bow on the side. Let me open this up. And then There you go. You get some of the remnants from the bow, from the ribbon. So that's what we're going to be making tonight. I did bring in some of the new colors as well. We have Azure Afternoon, we have Copper Clay, and we have Boho Blue. So these are they're not the in colors. I believe Copper Clay is one of the in colors, but don't quote me on it. I could be wrong. Or is it Boho Blue? I think it's Boho Blue is one of the in colors. But these are three of the new colors that are coming out, and we are going to use all three of them tonight. Let me bring in the designer series paper that matches it, and then we will start crafting. So I really had to pick wisely on which paper I was going to be using on tonight's live because, like I said, we are using this for our bingo event, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. Like, look at all of these fun colors. Like, you don't have to do much with these. Let the designer series paper do all the work for you. Look how gorgeous that is. All the bright colors. This is the one we're actually using today. Oh, here's the full sheets because I was cutting up. So this piece is amazing because you have your layer pieces already. So all you have to do is just trim down this line and then you can cut these pieces off and you already have your layering pieces. Like, oh, so gorgeous. Cannot wait to play with this more. Good evening, Stephanie. Good evening, Valerie. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So I didn't cut or score this piece because I kind of wanted to show you guys how to do scoring your cardstock one time and you're going to get 2 cards. So this is 8.5 by 11. It's just a normal sheet, and this is the copper clay. So we're going to put the 8.5-inch side up at the top, and I'm going to score this twice. I'm going to score it at 1 3/4 and 4 1/4. Those are the only 2 score marks. So we can go ahead and get this guy out. And then I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. My desk always starts out so clean, but after I start a live, it's a hot mess. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to slide this in so the 11-inch side is up at the top. And I'm going to look for the 5 and go over to the 1/2 inch mark. So I'm going to cut this at 5.5. So now I literally have just cut for 2 cards, and I only had to score 1 time. So those are our card bases for the 2 cards we're going to be making. So it is now 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 and 1 3/4. So we can just go ahead and fold these. Just make sure the edges line up. And then this little flap is going to get pushed back. So there we go. So there is our card base. And I actually didn't even cut the designer series paper, so I probably should have cut all of this at once, but that's okay. So our first cut, this is 5 1/4 by 12. Our first cut is going to be 2 inches. And since I have 2 cards, I'm just going to go ahead and cut them both at the same time. 2 inches for our second card. And then we need 2 at 1.5. There we go. And you still have a nice sized piece left over. So let's grab 2 of our pieces and I'll put the other 2 aside for the next one. So this part is super easy. We have our basic white, so we're going to glue this on the inside. Oh, my glue worked without having any issues. That doesn't happen very often. And then our smaller piece is going to go on our front flap. And the original card I used the Azure Afternoon cardstock. And this one, I'm using the same colors that are in that pack. And this one is the copper clay. So the copper clay is going to go right inside. There we go. Looks perfect. And I did bring in some of our white ribbon that has some sparkles in it. And I am just going to, I did measure about 16 to 18 inches, but I just left it on the spool for right now. So I'm just going to get a nice chunk. You can always trim it up if you have a little too much. There we go. So what I like to do is take both of my ends and line them up and then just kind of scooch my card over so my pieces line up at the edge. So there's that. So I'm going to flip this side back and just hold it with my finger and grab some tear tape. Maybe. There we go. And I don't want to put it all the way to the ends. I'm just going to put it right there over. And the one nice thing about tear tape is you don't need scissors. You can literally just pick it up, cut it off with your fingernail. And now I'm going to lay this down. So now our ribbon is attached and now we can decorate the front of it. So I did bring in some scratch paper and I am going to use, even though I used the copper clay ribbon or the copper clay cardstock, I am going to stick with my boho blue and the azure afternoon. So I'm going to take the kind of outline and stamp it in the darker. And I'm actually going to go ahead and stamp a couple of them so we don't have to do this again for the other card. Not that it's tragic. Let's see if I can squeeze one more in here. Yep, I think that works. So I'm going to close this up so I don't accidentally put the wrong ink in there. And now I'm going to come in with the boho blue. So this is a brand new ink pad, so he is a little juicy. So I do want to stamp off one time. So I'm going to ink this up. Oops, missed a little spot. I'm going to ink this up and I'm going to stamp off once. So then when I come in, I can now stamp over the overlay and it will line up. You just have to kind of play with it a second to get it to line up perfectly. It really wasn't this hard. There we go. There it is. So there's that one. Ink this up again. Stamp off. There's that. And do this one last time. It actually lines up really nice. Okay, there's those. And our last stamp, besides our sentiment, is the copper clay. So this one I'm going to go ahead and ink up and just stamp it right in the center. I honestly don't think there's a right or a wrong way for this one to go. So there we go. Now all we have to do is die cut these. And I brought my, I hope my paper is going to fit. And wouldn't you know, leave it to me, right? I should have triple checked that. This is probably going to be really close, but we are going to cut this guy out. Then we can die cut it. Never fails. Whenever I think I have everything right. But that's okay. It just goes to show that I am human. Grab our mini plates. Put this down. And I am just going to make sure this is going to be lined up. This is probably the hardest part, is figuring out where that goes. But as you can see, it really wasn't super tragic. I'm going to grab a piece of tape so I can hold this down. There we go. Put a piece on that side and a piece over here. And slide this in. There we go. This little guy is so fun and so cute. If you don't have one, you definitely need to get it for your craft room. He's so nice, tiny, and portable. So I'll go ahead and cut this other one out. So if you guys haven't gotten your catalogs in the mail, you should be getting them soon. This is probably the hardest part. There it is. You should be getting them soon. All of them will some went out in the mail today. The rest will go out in tomorrow's mail. It's easier for me to have my little handle on my right-hand side versus doing it all backwards. Okay, last one. And hopefully this one cuts out because I had to cut the paper a bit wonky. And I think it's throwing me off a little bit because of the tape is on there. Here we go. Hopefully that's it. If not, we're just going to go with the 2 because I know I'm already over on time. There it is. Perfect. Oh, maybe not. Okay, we're just going to mess with it later. I already have the 2 that I need. I was just going to do 1 extra, but we don't need it. So I'm going to bring in the 2 3/8 circle punch, that this is new as well. I'm going to punch a piece of the copper clay. Actually, I'll go ahead and punch 2. And we can take our flowers. Oh, that actually looks quite gorgeous together. Flip that over and we're going to grab some dimensionals and put them on the back. There we go. I couldn't see it because it was a brand new sheet. So just put a couple on the back. Remember how I said I would be regretting saying that it was too cold in the craft room? Now it's pretty toasty because I closed all the doors. It is a little toasty in here now. So let's bring our card base back in. And I kind of just want this hanging over a little bit. So I'm going to flip this over and put some tear tape on. This is the only thing that's holding our card kind of together. So I'm going to just put 2 small strips. Peel these off. And there we go. And then you can just tie your bow right off to the side. And if you got too much ribbon, you can trim it off or just leave it long. Either way, it's super cute. I just need to put the sentiment at the bottom. Your friendship means everything. There we go. So super cute, super simple. I probably didn't make it sound so simple, but it is actually quite simple. We'll just quickly put the last one together, and then you guys will have your evening. We're watching a show on Apple TV, and there's only 1 season, which I'm really sad because it's really good. And we're almost done. I think we have like 7 minutes left of the last season. Hi, Kathy. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I could stamp prior to gluing this down, just in case I get a boo-boo, I can flip it over. But I don't know how far to go over, so I just figured it's a tiny sentiment. If we have to, we can always cover it up with something else. We can put some diamonds or something on it. But this paper is so gorgeous, you really don't have to do a whole lot to it. There we go. And then grab some ribbon. I actually will probably just put this down first, just to save a tiny bit of time. Grab a nice piece of ribbon. Find your paper snips. I always, oh, that was a lot of ribbon, but that's okay. I always put my pieces together so I know where the end is, and that's what I'm going to put into the back side. So when I glue this down, it is where it's supposed to be. That was definitely way too much ribbon. Let's position that, flip it over. And because you are going over ribbon, I do suggest using a bit of a thicker, stronger adhesive. Maybe I'll have enough to tie a bow for another card with the excess of this ribbon. There's that. And let me grab my ink, stamp my sentiments. At least that flying did not get on my card. Perfect. So there you go. Let me get all of this junk out of the way. I will just tie this in a quick knot, just so you can kind of see it closed. And here are the two, and then here's the one in the original that I did. So possibilities are endless. You can use any designer series paper. I love that I was able to incorporate our new 2 3/8 inch circle punch and the new Cheerful Daisy stamp set. It is definitely going to be one that you'll want to have in your craft room because it is so fun to work with. Okay, hopefully I didn't go over on time. It looks like I had a couple minutes to spare. So thank you for joining me. I did put in the information for our summer retreat. It is in July and it is fast approaching. We'll be here before we know it. We don't want the weather that comes with it, but we do want the week-long retreat. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out. And if you don't, or if you haven't gotten a catalog from me, definitely send me a message and I would love to send you one. If you need anything, let me know. If not, I'll see everybody on Tuesday for another live. Chat with you soon. Bye-bye.